I want to start off by thinking back 8 years ago when we decided together to form the U.S. India Strategic Partnership Forum, not as a trade organization, but an organization that could be the model for how two countries could work together at all levels, not just business to business or government to government, to the individual citizens. And we outlined a dream that most people thought would be impossible to achieve. And it was fun watching it come together last year. It was truly, in terms of state visits, the Super Bowl of state visits. It was the ability to redefine what would be that strategic partnership that Mukesh talked about for the world and a model for the rest of the world that would benefit everyone in both of our countries. It was a vision that many people, when we outlined it, said there's no way we're going to be able to achieve. And I was thinking back, Mukesh, first I want to thank you and Gaurav. You've done an amazing job leading us. Turner's taught me to give out compliments rather than financial raises. But your leadership over these 7 years has been truly amazing, and your confidence and direction. I'm thinking back to key events. I remember sitting on this very stage with Nancy Pelosi and talking about what did it really mean between our two countries, what was possible. Also with Vice President Pence, talking about the relationship and what could occur. And then my all-time favorite, Henry Kissinger, talking about how history repeats itself again and again. And then Minister Sitaraman, who I love. She's just an amazing woman with her vision of the future and direction. So it'd be so easy right now to say, let's just rest on our laurels. We don't have to change. We don't have to take risks. We don't have to be innovative again. And I think that'd be a tremendous mistake. And as great as these last 8 years have been, and as accurate as we've been in terms of what we outlined literally in Vibrant Gujarat in 2017, when we said in terms of what we could do together between our countries, India would become the fastest growing economy in the world. And back 8 years ago, very few people thought that was going to happen. We said that our relationship can be the most strategic in the world. And it at a different level in terms of direction. And it became done to all of the 1.3, then up to 1.4 billion people in India, where they would participate from an economic standpoint in the future together. But I'm going to challenge us tonight to dream bigger. It'd be so easy to say, let's continue to do what we are doing. But when you look at fundamental change going on, the role that AI is going to play in the future, and several people in the cocktails beforehand said, if you talk about AI tonight, tell us what you think it could really be. AI will be the most fundamental change in technology during our lifetime, 3 to 10 times the speed of what we saw with the internet and cloud. It will disrupt every country, every business, every country, every business. Every citizen will become AI. And AI won't replace people. People with AI will replace people that don't have AI. And I think this is a chance for our countries to come together even closer, to have a bold vision of what's going to occur. When we said a year ago that India would be the largest GDP in the world, a lot of people were kind of surprised. To me, it was simple, pattern recognition. You look at the population age, you look at the minimums going on, and it was inevitable. But when you look at what could be done over the next 10 years together, you begin to see a country that will lay a foundation with the U.S. as its strategic partner to change the world in a way that's never been done before. Not only will India become the #1 economy in the world, but India will probably, by the end of this century, and I think it will be India's century of the future, will be 90% bigger than the GDP of China and probably 30% bigger than that of the U.S. But if we thought the advantage we could bring together to dream again and set goals that many people would say unattainable, and think, Mukesh, what we talked about the other day, and I'm going to give Raj full credit from Federal Express for the idea, what could we do together in terms of an industrial policy that would be built around the supply chain issues that we face, built around manufacturing, logistics together, and high tech, especially AI, of the big companies and the smaller companies. Hey, Dan, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us tonight. Senator Sullivan, a very, very good friend. But what we could do is think out of the box of what this means to both of our countries in terms of direction. I actually think my worry is that we'll get complacent, that we won't have the courage to change. So as you leave tonight, I'd like for each of you to think, what could we do? What can we do to make a difference on it? Could we pull key areas such as industrial policy together? Could we leverage where this world is going in a way that is equal to what we've done over the last 8 years? But I want to do most important, I want to thank you, each of you, for your leadership. The leadership of high-tech companies, many people around the room, the leadership of startups, the ability to combine our education systems, and we're just getting started, Madam Ambassador, as you said, about our universities working together in terms of the direction. But the ability to think out of the box on how we change this world for the better. I think together we can be the defining economic growth engine. Together, the defining economic growth engine for this century. That's the challenge I'd like to leave us with.